Okay, I'm going to take my great sword, right? I'm going to come at from the side, swing full force into his stomach. I want it to get jammed in there, and I'm ripping it out.
All right.
Taking the insides with me.
All right, make an attack roll.
All right. Okay, 19 with fear.
A 19 with fear. That's going to succeed. All right, so as your blade slices through the midsection, you see this rogue traveler all of a sudden falter as his hands instinctively reach down for his midsection, almost like he's going to hold his innards in. However, you succeeded with fear, which turns the action back to me.
Don't. You going to kill me?
I can only hope. All right, the rogue traveler, with his right hand, grabs a hold of this log that's laying on the ground, and he reaches up, and with one last breath, charges at you, attempting to come down onto your right shoulder blade. I'm going to make an attack roll.
Okay.
That's a critical success. Let's roll for damage on that. That's 11 points of damage.
Are you serious?
I am.
Okay. That's major, and I have 2 hit points left, so...
You got to mark 2 slots?
Yep.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Box deal. I'm afraid you're going to have to make a death move.
I don't want to. All right. What are they? What are the moves?
So you have 3 death moves that you can choose from. One is the Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory. Your character embraces death and goes out in a blaze of glory. Take one action at the GM's discretion, which critically succeeds, then cross through the veil of death.
2 is Avoid Death.
Avoid death. Your character avoids death and faces the consequences. They temporarily drop unconscious, and then you work with the GM to describe how the situation worsens. Your character can't move or act while unconscious. They can't be targeted by an attack. And they return to consciousness when an ally clears 1 or more of their marked hit points, or when the party finishes a long rest. After your character falls unconscious, roll your hope die. If its value is equal to or under your character's level, they gain a scar.
And 3 is Risk It All.
Oh, man.
Risk it all. Roll your duality dice. If the hope die is higher, your character stays on their feet and clears an amount of hit points or stress equal to the value of the hope die. Divide the hope die value between hit points and stress, however you prefer. If the fear die is higher, your character crosses through the veil of death. If you critically succeed, your character stays up and clears all hit points and stress.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Todd.
And my name is Rich.
And today we're talking about the death mechanic in Daggerheart.
And you died. And you know what? That's okay.
And I didn't get a chance to take him when he died, but, well, I sort of did.
I will say, like, in this game, there's a lot of cool stuff you could do when you die.
I agree.
You don't just fall unconscious and then, oh, that's it.
because what was interesting to me is that the death itself is not scripted by a set of rules.
Yeah.
There are rules, but there are options that you can choose to take, which is, I think good in the end.
Yeah, just like the rest of Daggerheart, it's structured to give your character justice and make you feel like you have agency over this thing happening to them.
100%. I feel like when you get to choose your path, it's going to build the best thing for you in the narrative. Your role in the narrative is key. You should be able to decide how your character ends their life or chooses not to end their life.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to go out. All right, so we have 3 death mechanics that we can work with in the game. What do we got?
Number 1, we got Blaze of Glory. Blaze of Glory is badass, honestly. It's the way everybody wants to go. It's every vision every man has had in their entire life. It's, there's a bear attacking my family. I'm going to wrestle the bear and then let my family get away. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's the hero's move. You're going to die, but you're going to work with your GM in order to sort of decide upon a critical success that you can have as a maneuver. Now, of course, we need to keep this realistic. You can't decide to die and then every single enemy on the battlefield is wiped out as a result. I'm sure you're as grandiose as you think you are, but let's keep it real. All right, what do we got for our second mechanic?
Second mechanic, we have the most boring, called Avoid Death. It basically, you lay there and you say, you can't hit me.
I like to think of this as the non-committal move. I don't want to die. And there's lots of reasons for this. Just because you choose Avoid Death doesn't mean you're boring. But you might want to ask yourself if you're boring. Anyway, in Avoid Death, we have a pretty stripped down mechanic. You avoid death. You will not die, but you are going to be unconscious. You cannot be hit.
You can't be targeted.
Correct.
I wish there was more explanation maybe as to why you can't be. I kind of hate that, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, but it does come with a consequence. You don't get off so easy. You are going to roll your hope die as a result of avoiding death. And if your hope die is lower than your character level, you're going to gain a scar. Now, a scar is a consequence that is likely mostly permanent, and it's going to be imposed by your GM. So your GM actually gets to have some agency here in your death.
I will say the scar mechanic is probably the coolest part of this whole death move, because we love to see repercussions. Maybe your character will use this as motivation in the future to kind of get back, at who gave them a scar.
Yeah.
Even though it is a non-committal, one might say, pussy move. Can I say that?
We can
yeah,
say
sure.
that.
All right. It's a pussy move. Maybe your character's a pussy right now. And then you work that into the story to where, like, later on, he wants to, feel like less of a pussy.
Well, sure. Maybe you have a character that is terrified of death and wants to become, a more mature, braver warrior out there on the battlefield. Maybe your character looks up to another member of the party who has that bravery. And this is a moment for them to, in their gaining of a scar, have something to physically look back on and say, wait a minute, that is one more mark towards my eventual bravery. I'm going to own this one day.
All right, a crazy idea, because I'm going to say this. Imagine your character's backstory, right? Is that your character was part of an adventuring party, right? And they had this mission, like, all right, we need to finish this mission no matter what. Everybody else in the party chose Blaze of Glory. Your character chose Avoid Death.
Oh, that's hard.
And your character begins this next campaign with the guilt of having done that.
I love that. So you can already see just from 2 mechanics out of 3 how complicated this can get with your party's narrative and story. And so for the third and final mechanic, we have
Risk It All. In Risk It All, you're gambling, baby. What happens in Daggerheart stays in Daggerheart.
I love that. I love that. And if you think about it, in Blaze of Glory, you have agency over your death. In Avoid Death, you have agency over death. You are making the choices. But in Risk It All, you're allowing the fates to decide.
Yep. In Risk It All, you're going to roll your hope and fear dice. If the hope is higher, then you erase the amount of hit points and stress points equal to the number of hope you rolled. If fear is higher,
you cross over into the veil of death. I get to take you if that happens. There's one more possibility, and that is if both of the dice tie, whether a 1 all the way up to 12, you have a critical success. You are on your feet, you have cleared all hit points, you have cleared all stress, and you're back in the game.
Yep, you're basically going Super Saiyan mode. You're basically going full berserk. You're running back into battle like you just like snorted a line of cocaine and you're ready to take out the entire enemy team.
All right, blooper reel. So far today, Rich has gone with suicide bomber, snorting a line of cocaine,
And calling everyone pussy.
and calling everyone a pussy. What are we gonna do with this?
Woo! All right.
All right, so as you can see, you have control over your death in this game.
Yes, the best part of Daggerheart is that they respect you and the agency over your character to do your character justice. And the mechanics work as a springboard for your story and what feels right to you. It's not a shackle, it's a springboard.
Exactly. It's another tool in this game system that allows you to control the narrative and allow the narrative, honestly, to have control of itself to some degree. So there's a lot of ability in here for the ambiguity of what could happen to happen. And I love that about that.
I love it too, man. These mechanics are so fun, so interesting, and I can't wait to try them out.
Same here. All right, I'm Todd,
I'm Rich.
and we are signing off for Wither and Bloom, but that's Death Mechanics in Daggerheart. We will see you soon.
Yep.
Boxdale, those are the 3 options. What are you going to take?
All right. I'm gonna go for the